Yo, what up? What up? You already know, Dolla50, peace. Now listen, this album thing that I'm doing, you know what I'm saying? I did the Gold King. You know what I mean? When I did the Gold King, you know what I mean? It did well based on, people checking it out, you know what I'm saying? But they didn't really, catch on to the chemistry. The chemistry is crazy, like the Gold Pawn, you know what I mean? The Gold Knight, the chemistry of the pieces move through the mainstream according to the extremes that are present. Don't quite match black or white, but the extremes that are created with the consistency of each piece, it's like if you use the gold pawn, it's just straight up. The chemistry is crazy. The Gold Knight is a crazy chemistry. Each piece functions individually. So if you don't catch on to the pieces, you know what I mean? That's crazy that you don't really catch on. So listen, I'm going to name the album Time. Time itself. When I issue the business cards with the stimulus check on one side and the vaccine on another, what it does is it creates a location in time that's a location in time that's time itself. It's a location in time that's time itself. And when you have a situation where you have a business card that's time itself within reason of being located simultaneously with the stimulus checks and the vaccines on the other simultaneously, it has a place in time. It exists in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the extremes of the business cards and align it with the chemistry of the album. Now the album, I'm going to take the tracks that's already playing. The tracks that's already playing, I'm a composer chemistry. They're not in the same order that they're going to be on the album. They a lot of the content that's on the link in the description, click on the link in the description. Observe the content that's currently present, because you can click play and observe the content. The content is crazy. Each track individually has different content. So when you observe the content, the order is not in the same place. Like the intro for Gold King is Genesis. Genesis is the intro. And then it goes to track 1, 2, 3, like that. It's not based on just, having track 1, 2, 3 like that. It's based on a certain sequence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sequence that's more feasible, more easily to enjoy, to be entertained, to have a luxury of listening at the same time. So the album that's going to be soon to come out Friday, it's going to be out Friday. I'm going to put it out Friday. And I want you to make a purchase. Make a purchase. Purchase the album. You know what I'm saying? The album is going to be fire. You can see the it's playing now, but it's not playing in the right or in the same order that it's going to be in when I make the album. When I compose the album, it's not in the same order. So when I make the album in a certain order, that's what's going to make it fire. You know what I'm saying? The intro and all that, that's what's going to make it fire. Because when you got an album, with just the music that's at the link in the description now, it's fire music, but it's not. It's just made in the same order that it was made in. That's not what I'm doing. I'm going to make it. I'm going to hype it up with the order of it. That's how I'm gonna hype it up. You know what I mean? It's going to be done up. You know what I mean? And you can purchase the tracks now. before the album come out. You can purchase the tracks now. You don't have to wait until the album, come out. You can purchase the tracks now. You know what I mean? So listen, I'm still trying to get the channel car. The channel car is crazy. The way I'm going to do the channel car is I'm going to transition to a different district simultaneously, like my business cards. I'm going to do it all at the same time. I can't do it at the same time without my resources matching. My resources need to match. I can't just, change districts, get the channel car, be where I'm going to be, change clothes, It's a lot going on, you know what I'm saying? It's not just, like you just going to just change districts in your channel car and everything. All of that's going to be done up, and you're just going to have on the same clothes that you had on at first. You can't do it like that. You got people following your clothes, following your style, saying they know you, you know what I mean? You got all these different conflicts of interest. Now, I'm black. I've never been mixed with white people. I've never been mixed with foreigners. I've never been mixed at all. I'm black. So when I go to a different district, I need to be prepared for whatever extremes are present. Whatever extremes are present. I'm American. I never left the country. I never been outside of the country either. You know what I mean? So I never had foreign relationships. I never left the country. I never been in a white relationship. I'm just black. You know what I mean? So I'm preserving my options to be no less of a place. I'm not just, flopping to a different district and, that's what's real. It's not what's real if I don't look no different. You know what I mean? $1.50 all day, every day. So clicking the link in the description, make sure you donate. You know what I'm saying? If you don't make a purchase, make a purchase. You know what I'm saying? When you make a purchase, you can price the purchase at whatever price you want to price it at. You know what I mean? You don't have to price it at 99 cents what it's priced at. You could just price it at $2 and just be like, you're just going to add $1 to it. You know what I mean? You're just going to add $1 to it and do that. You know what I mean? And then when I change district, I'm going to be like, yeah, boom. You know what I mean? It'll be what it's supposed to be. It ain't going to be no people that's following me around that I don't agree with to the point of having to shoot somebody or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It be getting crazy in this district. You know what I mean? This district is crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like just the other day with the shooter, that was crazy. Cause I got up, you know what I mean? I got up and there was things went a certain way, and I was like, that's the shooter doing that. You know what I mean? And when I figured out what the shooter was doing, along with the person that was jumping from district to district, moping themselves out. Along with that, you know what I mean? All these different combinations of wrong energy be present in the middle of the night, particularly because middle of the night is just a place that it exists in. It exists in the middle of the night. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna do something with this stimulus check. I'm gonna put this live stream on Twitter, but I'm gonna do the stimulus checks at the same time. I'm gonna make sure I do the stimulus checks at the same time, because how are people dying? There's 625,000 deaths right now. 625,325 deaths right now. Crazy. You know what I mean? So how they not going to have recurring payments. Recurring payments are going to be based on not knowing what's going to happen from month to month. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what's going to happen from month to month, then how they not going to have recurring payments. So they're going to try and get recurring payments, going to try and get the stimulus check, going to try and get the vaccine and the stimulus check in the same place. Just going to try and get some things accomplished that haven't been accomplished. But we making progress. We're making progress. Progress is being made, but we don't want it to be unsaid that we need stimulus checks to be issued regularly. You know what I mean? Stimulus checks should be issued regularly because the death rate is regularly. You know what I mean? This is what the stimulus checks are based on. It's based on the death rate being in our way. You know what I mean? In our path. So if death is in our path, and the bills don't match, the bills being paid don't match the same extremes, that's not fair for us. We didn't expose ourselves to the pandemic. The pandemic, attacked America. So we gotta still survive it. A lot of people doing YouTube. Shout outs to everybody with the M50s. If you got the M50, hold it down. Hold it down. Because listen, when I'm on YouTube with 11 YouTube channels and you got an M50, you could just represent, what I'm going for. I'm going for all my YouTube channels with cars and real estate and and music. I'm going for my YouTube channels to produce resources where sales are real. If all the sales for the cars and real estate and the music is real, then where's the money at? They didn't ever pay me nothing. So listen, as resourceful as that is, just one corporation owes me $3 quadrillion right now. One corporation. So when that one corporation owed me $3 quadrillion, I'm not chasing the corporation around. I'm making sure I stay relevant. You know what I mean? I'm making sure I stay relevant. And when I get lawyers, a team of lawyers and, specialists to figure out exactly, where the $3 quadrillion is going to show up at, then, it's real. Then it's because I'm doing the hip hop headquarters. The hip hop headquarters is my ultimate goal. But when I'm doing YouTube, when I'm doing the pandemic, when I'm doing vaccine distribution, when I'm doing stimulus check distribution, it's based on, the in-between staying relevant for the hip hop headquarters. But being qualified for the hip hop headquarters is always real. Being qualified for the hip hop headquarters is real because it has to stay buoyant throughout the experience of the pandemic, throughout the experience of politics, new presidents, pandemics, job loss, stimulus check, vaccine distribution. The hip hop headquarters has to be capable of dealing with all this. If you can't deal with all this and you're talking about you want to establish hip hop sick pay, you want to establish hip hop bail, you want to establish hip hop training for all the artists, you know what I mean? Hip hop union membership, union, you want to do all this for hip hop, you gotta be able to deal with the extremes until you get to that point. When you can't deal with those extremes, like you see a lot of the artists that can't cope with these extremes. Like I say, listen, sign off on this album, make a deal with this album right here. You know what I mean? And they can't deal with those extremes. They can't cope. You know what I mean? They can't adapt to the demand set forth. Then they can't deal with no hip hop headquarters. Not a hip hop headquarters. It's the man that, when vaccines show up, you got to show up making the vaccine. When the COVID-19 show up, you got to show up making the vaccine with a hip hop headquarters. You got to show up with generating wealth where everything is shut down. You have to show up generating the income. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy for a hip hop headquarters. A hip hop headquarters is no game. When people are unsatisfied with the ways of hip hop, the challenges of hip hop, you know, the hip hop headquarters has to comfort, you know, the hip hop world. Hip hop is worldwide. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a hip hop headquarters, McDonald's has a headquarters, Burger King has a headquarters. All these organizations have headquarters. So if you got hip hop generating billions of dollars every year and don't have a headquarters, what you have is somebody with $1 billion riding around the car without a building, you know, to represent what they're doing. So that's crazy. You just get pulled over and your whole business is in jeopardy. That's crazy. So the hip hop headquarters being established, being able to stay afloat throughout the challenges of the pandemic, the presidency, politics. Remember the Capitol building got invaded. The hip hop headquarters still floating. You know what I mean? Still staying afloat. You know what I mean? It's so crazy that the hip hop headquarters have to deal with all these extremes that, you know, it's what it is. You know what I mean? The hip hop headquarters is just, you know, what it is. You know what I mean? It has to deal with, once it's acknowledged, when the politicians came into office, they were briefed on the hip hop headquarters being established. You know, I sent emails to the politicians to reflect my intent to establish a hip hop headquarters. And when I did that, I didn't get a response, but most certainly I got recognition where the hip hop headquarters is it has a presence. It has a presence. You know, when the stimulus checks are being argued, I do broadcasts and say, listen, the stimulus checks are on their way. You know, they're working on a plan now. Right now, the stimulus checks are in the process of being established, but they trying to draw back from issuing stimulus checks and have America open back up. But you know, if we're gonna be dying, then hazard pay is gonna be well within reason of receiving a stimulus check. They're gonna have to show up with a hazard pay or a stimulus check, some form of compensation for the damages. It's like you being beat over the head every day with the death rate. You know what I'm saying? It's just constant death every day. You're being beat over the head. You know, you got to compensate people for the damages. Yo, peace, $1.50. Click on the link in the description. Donate, make a purchase. And most importantly, when you click on the link in the description, see what's playing. You know what I'm saying? The album is going to be out soon. Peace. $1.50. Time is the name of the album. Time. Peace.